Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back. So I've got the Peavey Raptor Plus out here on the table, having a little bit of fun. This is that humbucker dual rail that I got from wish.com that I fixed the broken corner in with some CA glue. Seems to be pretty strong. Just cross my fingers the pickup works. Won't actually find out until I go through all the hassle of doing some carving here and restringing it after. But I'm going to put it here in the neck. I'm going to leave the bridge pickup alone for now in the center. Don't have any other pickups anyway. I did order a pack of 4 of these though from Banggood. It cost me like $24 for 4 of them with free shipping, so how do you say no to that? This was like $10 just for one. But anyways, so those will be in a few weeks. And I've noticed that just by setting the screws in, these screws will thread the holes, by the way, so even though it didn't come with hardware, not a biggie. But I got some carving to do right along this edge here, from about here, and I got to bring it out a bit here and up into just before the shoulder of the screw, and a little hairball there and a little hairball in there. This has lots of space here, and it's the only way, of course, the pickup can go in, because your pickups can only mount in one direction, even on Strats, because of the way they cut out the body. I'll show you that in a second though. The frets are beautiful on this thing. There's like no damage anywhere on the frets, so the guy told me he barely even touched this thing, and yep, he was right. It's barely even been touched. So I'm going to clean up the fretboard and re-oil it and maybe even polish up the frets a little bit. As far as the nut goes though, I tried to flip it to convert this to lefty. And a few things I find are a hassle with doing this as lefty. One, the jack is over here, so it's going to be like right under my arm. How annoying. And of course the nut can't flip anyways. I'd have to actually have a left-handed nut made, because to flip this nut, what it's going to do is it's going to make my low E really high and my high E way too low. And of course it's going to follow the opposite curve of the neck, so can't convert this sucker to lefty. Not without doing damage. Of course, we all know Hendrix. He converted righties to lefties, and I'm sure he had his fun with some damage and stuff. But I mean, you do what you got to do back in the day. Nowadays, you can just buy a lefty. But so I decided to leave this as a right-handed guitar, anyways. And this may help out my wife to maybe try guitar again. She's been playing mandolin and learning that. And at least this is a much smaller guitar than anything else that she's ever had, even for electric. So, it might get her back into trying to play electric guitar. Who knows? Truss rod adjustment is here. And you just got to jam an Allen key in there and crank her. Kind of a nice little rotary system. I like that. It's interesting. Instant for you, but for me, I'm going to be waiting until tomorrow until I can get my Dremel out of my shop, because I don't feel like doing this tonight anyways. I'm too tired. Tomorrow I'm going to get the Dremel out, start tracing the outside where I need to, get that set up, and then I'll know where I have to carve out. Soldering job on this is pretty good. For a made in Korea guitar, they did a great soldering job. The pickups are actually decent. I actually messed around on this with my Mustang amp and the amp I got with it a little bit, and it's pretty good sounding pickups, so these might even be a good replacement pickup for some really crappy guitars that are out there that have bad pickups. So, but for now I'm just putting the one in here. Now, the other thing too is I might not have to mod my Strat at all for this, because one thing I can tell you for sure, my son bought a Strat clone copy, and we redid the whole thing, and we found out that number one, we couldn't even use the Strat pickguard, or we also couldn't use the covers that he ordered that he wanted, which kind of really sucked. But at least we got to use some of the parts, which was good, because the pickup covers are actually larger in diameter on the Strats than they are on the clones. The clones are actually a little smaller, so you can't even fit, and the lineups are totally different too between the real Strat pickup covers and the fakes. So I may not have to do anything, or I may not have to do as much. So I'm really looking forward to hopefully not having to do any cutting, but if I have to do anything at all, it'll be very, very minuscule, which will be good. So that I'm happy for. But on this one, well, we got to take it a little bit of meat off of there to get it to fit right, but that's okay. Now, I'm not doing a review yet on this guitar, but what I can tell you so far is the thing with all stock stuff does sound pretty good, plays nice, the action's good, it's nice and low, nothing buzzes anywhere, very, very impressed with that. Made in Korea thing, yeah, somebody got sloppy, didn't even take the friggin' wood chip shavings out of here before they doused it in shellac, so that's a little bit of poor quality control there, so yeah, that doesn't make anybody happy, I'm sure. But they didn't even clean up any of this stuff inside, no kind of you know, copper ground shield lining or anything, but who cares, I don't have any anyway, and besides, this is my junker guitar for doing experiments with and testing stuff out and whatnot, so what do I care. So anyway, this will be instant for you, like I said, but for me, it'll be tomorrow, and I'm going to be wiring this up. Now these pickups apparently have coil tapping capability or splitting. I'm just going to wire it as a pure humbucker, so I'm going to just solder these three together and then go for the ground and then go off. I'm going to actually have to lengthen these wires too because of the distance I have to cover for where they go to, but no big deal there. So we shall return and see what happens and how much we ended up having to carve out of this and if it looks gaudy or not. So don't go away. Okay guys, I admit I have zero patience. I want to get this done. So I took a razor knife, just this, and traced out the back with a Sharpie pen. I gotta clean that up later. And I just started going across this way and then following the curve around, and then, you know, I had to go in this area here. This is a 3-ply pick guard too, which is kind of nice. And the same here and here. And our pickup, get it in the right bloody way, will go, well, I have to start the one spot here, hang on. Oh, that goes the other way. It's hard to do all this like this. Okay, so that started, and you just gotta wiggle that like so. Okay, so now for the other side here, do what I can to show you what I'm doing here, but this goes in this way, and we put the screw in the hole. It's all lined up there. Like that. That started a bit. Okay, now we've got to feed the wire down under, through there, and out of the way, and with any luck, bingo! And this has got to be adjustable, no problem. So, no drummer required, yay! Okay, I've never, seriously guys, I have never, and I've worked on guitars for years, okay, mainly my own, a couple odd ones belong to people, but I've never actually had to modify a guitar to make a friggin' pickup fit, okay, it's a pain in the neck. So, first time for everything, and it actually still looks really good, you know, I really didn't have to remove all that much meat to get everything to fit in there. But it fits there really nice. So I mean, the big thing is going to be setting the height up to go along fine with the strings, but I think I'll be okay even with these screws. Oh yeah, that'll more than drop enough. That's beautiful. How much thread do I have left underneath? That's a good question. Okay. Oh yeah, I still got lots of thread left underneath. I can drop this thing down more if I want or whatever. That's sweet. So these pickups, guys, will work in a Strat copy. That's what we're going to call this thing. No problem. Just got to get that frickin' wire out of the way. Oh, I hate these wires. They're such a pain in the neck. But they have to feed through there. That goes there, that goes into there. Goes like that. There we go. That all sits where it should. I still have this pickup hooked up just because I gotta know where my wires are gonna go. But yeah, so that's gonna work out perfect. And I shouldn't have to do this mod on my actual Strat because these pickups, they say, are designed for the Strats. So it should be a straight drop and go. But if I do have to modify, at least it'll be even less than I had to do this one, which is still actually pretty minuscule when you think about it. And it lines up and squares out really pretty decent there. So I'm going to stop the video here at this point. And the next video will just be, everything will be reassembled and strung up, and we'll give it a test run. Because there's really no point in sitting here and wasting 10 minutes of your time desoldering and soldering crap. So, I still got to change lengthen the wire, so I've got some proper gauged wire here. I'm going to have to lengthen the wire on here, and so that I can actually get to the areas that I need. So I don't really need that much, like about 2 inches of wire, because I have to disconnect this one at the ground off this pot, and the live comes off the switch over here, and take that out of the way. And I don't want to disturb the wires at all for lengths on this pickup, because I may use this for a project at some other point. And so yeah, so that's going to work. So yeah, wow, that actually looks pretty hot. I can't wait to see 3 of them sitting in my Strat. Anyways, guys, we shall return on the next video where this thing is reassembled, which should be, if I'm motivated enough, probably at some point tomorrow anyway. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching.